Yes. Yes, it is. It's great significance, especially in this area.
How are you associated to the Masonic Lodge?
I've been a member for 15 years.
Was anybody else in your family a member, or is it a...
My dad.
Okay.
My dad was a Wishful Master, now he's past master, and now I'm Wishful Master.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what kind of master?
Wishful Master. The head of this lodge at the moment.
And how would you, could you just kind of tell us about how you would compare the lodge's past in your childhood versus how it is now?
Well, when you were growing up, me personally and a lot of other people, you really didn't know what your parents were doing. Back then they kept a lot of stuff to themselves. And so, children actually stayed in children's spot back then. But, you'd always see him get dressed up in this black suit. And he'd be leaving out, where are you going, I mean, he worked for the county, so, as being a truck driver, then all of a sudden you see him in a black suit, white tie, white shirt, black tie, real spiffy, and you're like, Dad, where you going this time of night, I got a meeting, so, and this is where he was going. I was older before I even knew what this building was. That's just how they operated back then,
What is the significance of the Masonic Lodge, to the community?
The significance is that they provided a lot of educational. It provided a space, number one, where they could provide educational services to the community. They would do the Thanksgiving, Christmas handout stuff, try to help the community with clothes. Or people that were having receptions or anything like that, they provided a place that they could actually come and, fairly cheap, if no price at all, and hold their event.
Okay.
And outside of that, like I say, I've spoke with a lot of people on it. One lady said that there was an EOC that was sponsored out of Waco, that they were able to come here and finish up their high school diploma. People were here to help them with their degrees and stuff. And then, like I said, if people needed clothes or whatever, you could come and get clothing. They did the bake sale thing with people. They would let people come in and hold whatever kind of event they may need to hold. And it was just the meeting place of the community.
So the Masonic Lodge is based off of, are they a group of Masons, or what is the history behind the Masonic?
Prince Hall is where it began, the Prince Hall Masonry. There is our Grand Lodge is in Fort Worth, Texas. It's Prince Hall, the most wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Texas. And in order to have a Masonry Hall, you have to have a charter of some Grand Council jurisdiction empowering it to work. So we have a charter to be True Friend Lodge. That's how it kind of derived. I mean, that's where it originated from. But it was a group of Masons that were black men that you weren't allowed to necessarily have a lodge at once upon a time and meet like that. And so over time and during the war and everything, those rules changed, and they granted them authority to have a Grand Lodge. And from that point on, then you have all these subordinate lodges of Masonry, and that's where it kind of derived from.
Okay. How old is this particular,
This building is over 120 years old.
Wow. So how long have you guys had your charter?
How long have we had what?
The charter?
Our charter?
Yeah.
We've had our charter since 1907.
Oh, so I didn't realize that this wasn't always a Masonic Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
But
it's always been a Masonic Lodge.
Well, but you said that there wasn't a charter until the 1900s.
No, I said our charter. Our charter that I actually have. See, there was probably a charter prior to that has been lost. If I'm not mistaken, I've been doing some research also, and Mart used to be Willow Springs.
Yeah.
Now,
And the railroad.
if you notice up in the library up there, there's some charters, and I believe they were called United Brotherhood, and it says Mart, Texas. Now, from what information I was passed down to Malcolm Basie, who used to be a barbershop right here, where everybody also went to the barbershop. He passed on a few years back, and he was probably pushing about 90, getting close to 90, but his grandfather, I believe, built this building.
Okay.
And he built this building so that they would have a place to meet. So I'm not just 100 absolutely sure, but I'm concerned about United Brotherhood as being, their charter was 1800 and something, or 1700 and something. And when you didn't have a place to meet, they still met, you know, but you just, at that during time, you're talking slavery, so they had to meet in secret places. So, you know, again, you know, the name just changed, but this building itself, if I'm not, I want to say it was built in 1886. And like I said, we just, our charter that just says True Friend is 1907. So.
And that's the one that you guys got from the Prince Hall Masonry?
Right.
Okay.
But that's not to say that the
There
United Brotherhood's charter that's up there didn't come from there. I haven't had a chance to check back with the Grand Lodge to see if they actually had a United Brotherhood out of Mart that they actually issued a charter to. I mean, obviously they issued a charter because it says from the Grand Lodge of Texas, but it says Mart.
Okay.
So, you know, and again, when, you know, you're talking, when they didn't have a building, they wouldn't allow them to just actually meet in the 1800s. So,
Yeah.
but they did have a charter to work.
Okay.
So, obviously this lodge has been a really important place since its inception. But, like, how would you compare that to how it's received now in the community?
Everybody really, they still support the lodge. We had a raffle, had a pretty good raffle, and all of it also was in due to restoration. You know, we want to try to get a roof, so we're trying to raise money to get the roof, because the roof seems to be the most vital part, and then maybe some leveling. But the roof will stop the control the deterioration of it if we can just get the roof repaired. So that's what we're working on now. The project is getting the roof repaired.
How much is that? How close are you guys to getting that amount?
We had I'm waiting back for estimates now. You'd think something like an estimate would be fairly simple, but I've got several guys that have looked and supposed to get back with me, but because I work 8 to 5, they're having to correspond with my dad. You know, I'm telling them, you know, just stick it in the door, you know, and I'll get it from there. But the one that we actually got was $4,000 to redo the roof. Okay, we're thinking again, you know, possibly checking out some other organizations like Lowe's, Home Depot. Maybe we can get a break on some materials and stuff like that. But that's the rough estimate of doing the roof is $4,000.
Okay.
And so that's what we're working towards.
I don't think anyone sent it to you yet, but Egu, one of the people who came down here, and I wrote a letter. This is kind of a side note to the interview, sorry. Wrote a letter to some consultant engineers who would maybe come down and inspect it and say like for free, hopefully, to say like what kind of renovations could be done and stuff like that. But we'll send it to you so you have it.
Okay.
As another side note, we were doing some research for the library garden, and Home Depot and Lowe's both have an application for gift in kind. Mm-hmm. And so you can fill out those applications and see if you qualify, and they'll give you an amount, and basically you can go into Home Depot and pick up the materials that you need.
Okay, well that was based on one of the plans. I know a lot of people, you know, since we are a non-profit organization, and having our credentials and actually going to a Home Depot and talking with the manager and finding out, you know, what can they do, or if anything can be done. Yeah. But I needed the estimate to kind of give me a range of what we needed. We got obviously enough room to store all the materials. Yeah. You know, and then possibly that can take from the estimate that was given us about the $4,000, because that's materials and all.
Yeah.
And also, I remember the last time we had a conversation like this when you said that without knowing how good